I don't feel like waiting. Hi guys, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This show is both later and much earlier than I planned to do it. I hope you're well. I'm trying to get my sleep schedule back to something normal for my vacation next week, and it's not going well. It's all right. It'll even itself out when we get to actually being on the road and me hanging out with my wife, and it's just gonna it'd be a lot easier to do if I was just awake at normal hours to begin with by the time we start. I went to bed yesterday at about 4:30. I was like, okay, it's later than yesterday, so maybe I'll sleep a little later, but nah. That did not work out how I wanted it to. So here we are. I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling well. Just a little disappointed in myself for not managing things better. I'm a disappointment to my mother and me. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. Hope you're having a just spectacular day. I had a pretty good day. Needed to get done. Still got a little bit more to do before vacation. Looking forward to vacation. More so probably than any of the other ones because me and Lady Monkey are actually going out and doing stuff for us. It's nice visiting with her family, which is always nice. But in 32 years that we've been together, we haven't gone on vacation just the two of us for us. You know what I mean? Where it's always been to go visit family or something like that. And so this one, I'm really excited. Hopefully she doesn't kill me. Hopefully she's not like, now I remember why I don't hang out with you very much. Anyway, guys, we're here to talk some about the Ethan Klein stuff. I know we've gone over quite a bit of it already, and I don't mean to bore people who aren't into the drama the way I am, but there is deeper stuff here, and we will get to it in time because we're going to talk about commie propaganda today, and I. I was shocked to see this when I did and how accurate it was, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start with a brief recap. For those of you who don't know, Ethan Klein is suing 3 Twitch streamers. Make sure I have the right article pulled up here. There we go. And we'll get to what's on the screen here in a couple of minutes, but just a brief recap. So several years ago, Hassan Piker and Ethan Klein did a show together called Leftovers, and they were good friends right up until Hamas decided to kill a bunch of Jews, and both of them were like, man, the Jews suck. And Hassan was like, but Hamas is really cool. And Ethan went, wait, they're a terrorist group. And that led all of Hassan's fans to basically ignore everything Ethan has ever said about Israel. Suddenly he became the most Jewy Jew ever. And, you know, I guess, sure, if you're a retard. But that eventually leads to Ethan Klein making a video about Hassan called Content Nuke Hassan Piker. Several people, probably hundreds if we counted them all, reacted to that video, and 3 in particular specifically did it with the stated intention of taking views away from Ethan, which becomes a major violation of copyright. But that's not how it's being sold. Now, before we get to what's on the screen there, I want to jump to this. There's a race. All 3 of the girls who are being sued by it's Ethan's war on women. The 3 girls being sued all have GoFundMe's. On the screen right now is Denims. Denims has raised $29,431. And over the last 24 hours, it's raised about $1,000. All for stealing somebody's copyright. Next up is Miss Frogan, who, with a $10,000 donation, has gotten up to $27,000. Also raised about $1,000 in the last 24 hours. Yes, I really have been looking at this that much that I know. But she raised about $26,000 yesterday, and now she's up to $27,000. And finally is Casey Tron, who I want to show this first. We're not going to watch this video, but I noticed that this video had a screenshot of Casey's GoFundMe total there. Yesterday, well, actually, this is only 7 hours ago. 7 hours ago was at $22,000, which is pretty impressive because a day ago she was at less than 10,000. In fact, she was less than 9,000. So in a little over a day, she raised $13,000 as of 7 hours ago. As of right now, she's raised $24,000, $1,000 an hour over the last day. Am I the only one that looks at that and wait a minute? That doesn't make much sense, especially when her top donation is only like $1,000 and she's got like 4 people who've donated $1,000. Can you say money laundering, boys and girls? I don't know who's funding this. I don't know who's. I'm not accusing her of money laundering. That was a joke. Sorry. Before I get sued. There's something fishy going on there. And what I think the fishy part is the war on women. Frogan and Denims, maybe a little bit. Denims especially has talked about how he's just going after the women's. But Casey Tron has taken it much further. Much, much further. She, on her Twitter, is all over going, oh my God, the incels are out to get me. The incels are out to get me. And I'm like, oh, what? And I think it's really playing. And that's where we get back to our article of the day from one Cat 10 Barge. Hang on one second. Jack, my friend, how are you?
Oh, usual. How you doing?
Deaf now because I forgot to turn down my volume.
Oh.
I didn't check or stream.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah, much better.
Good.
That muscle I pulled in my back is, a pulled muscle, but otherwise I'm pretty good today.
Oh, good.
We were just talking about how Casey Tron has somehow managed to raise $24,000 in the same time that Frogan and Denims each only raised about $1,000.
That seemed pretty impressive.
Seem fishy to you?
Yeah. I mean, all of this is pretty fishy to me.
Hey, look, raise all that money to give to Ethan because you're gonna lose.
Yeah, you guys should have just looked for a settlement.
Frogan has decided to take the week off. And I was reading a comment where somebody's like, she's probably going to use that GoFundMe money. I'm like, she specifically said in there that she would use that money for lost pay.
She's probably planning on fleeing the country. I don't
know. Anyway, so we're now on this Ethan Klein's War on Women from Cat 10 Barge. Now, for those of you who haven't been around that long, I used to make fun of Cat 10 Barge a lot. Yeah. She is the dollar store Taylor Lorenz. And that's saying something because Taylor Lorenz is the dollar store Taylor Lorenz.
True.
Taylor is on the thumbnail because she has gone like whole hog for Hassan. Have you seen the clip of her gushing about how unbelievably handsome he is and how well he dresses? She was on a stream with some gay guy, I forget his name, who's also swooning over Piker as they're talking. And I'm like, what?
Hassan looks like the kind of guy that would get implants of muscles.
All right, I'm just going to say this. I am not saying he's a pedophile, okay? But Hassan looks like he would play a pedophile in a 70s movie.
Or on closed circuit television.
What? Okay, gentlemen, you cannot have the 5 o'clock shadow going on, and it's not even a 5 o'clock, probably more like a 10 o'clock shadow going on your chin with a full mustache. It makes you look like a pedophile.
Yeah, his mustache makes him look like he drives the candy van in
the
sketchiest movie you've ever seen.
I am not in any way accusing. I've never heard anything that would suggest he actually is one.
No, I've never heard that.
No, I'm saying he looks like one. And like, remember when he
Yeah.
had his hair long? I'm like,
Oh yeah.
seriously, I saw you on an after school special warning me about stranger danger.
Right. Right. He just has that look, just like Ethan looks like he eats out of a dumpster. I've never
Now,
seen him eat out of a dumpster, but I could imagine it.
Hassan can clean up. We've seen him where like, okay, he's trying to present himself.
We've also seen him do little kicks, and
But
he's
he
not very
then
good at much.
he then goes out of his way to look like a caricature of a pedophile. Why would you do that?
I don't know. How old's
Anyway,
his audience predominantly?
again, I'm not accusing him of that. I've never heard anything about that.
No.
I realized that he technically is Muslim, so his prophet was, but I have no evidence he was, and I'm not saying he is.
No, but if
Just,
you put him in a movie as a suspect in a missing child case,
yes,
he would be the prime suspect for the majority of the episode.
it's like Clint Howard. I mean, the guy, I don't know if he's ever touched a kid, but he certainly looks like he has.
Yeah, he looks like he tried to blackmail 3 Billy Goats Gruff on a bridge. I mean, I'm just saying. If I pictured a troll, it would look like Clint Howard.
Anyway, so this is Kat's article about this, and I had forgot Kat was a thing. She used to work for, I believe it's NBC News, and she really was. She was just a carbon copy of Taylor Lorenz, and she was really mad about the Amber Heard stuff. How dare you guys be so mean to Amber Heard?
She is a woman, a powerful woman.
But then she went away, and I forgot all about her until the other day where Taylor Lorenz mentions her. And I was like, oh shit.
Her or blacked her out?
What's that? Highlighted her. Yeah. She was like, look, Kat Tenberg wrote this really good article. And
unlikely, but okay, go on.
Oh no, you're absolutely correct in that. And I was like, oh, I need to read that. And then I forgot all about it until about 3 hours ago. And so I pulled it up to read it, what this amazing piece of journalism was. And dear fuck. I just want to remind you of the title. Ethan Klein's War on Women. Dun, dun, dun.
Real quick before we get to that, thank you, Evolved Potato. I forget, did the brothel that Hassan went to that had trafficked sex slaves also have underage girls, or was it only adults?
There was allegations of underage girls, but if I remember the case correctly, they never either they didn't actually find them or it wasn't part of the final charges that went through. It's very confusing.
I don't know anything about this case, so I can't help you, Evolved.
Yeah, it was a brothel he bragged about going to. Why are you spending money on pussy? You're gay, dude.
Who brags about going to a whorehouse?
People like Hassan.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
So it turns out that whorehouse had been investigated for trafficking and some other things. And that blew up in Hassan's face, but he's like, no, but it wasn't really that. Whatever. Frankly, flying overseas so you can go to a legal brothel is kind of gross. Just saying.
A little bit. Also illegal if you're a United States citizen. Don't go overseas to have sex. That is a federal crime.
He totally didn't go there to go to the brothel. No. It was just a happy. Him and the guys were sitting around with their real motivation, and somebody went, they have brothels here. And they're, oh, let's go.
Soon as we close the circle, brothers.
Sex tourism.
Yeah, highly illegal. Him admitting to that is really dumb.
If you don't know who Ethan Klein is, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you. Kat, stop stealing my lines. I use that line a lot, Jack.
I know.
And this, you know what? She actually used to interact with me, and then she got very upset with me one day and blocked me. Now she's on Blue Sky, which I refuse to go to because I'm not a pedophile.
Fair point.
Klein is the primary host of the extremely popular H3 podcast, which is one of the most watched podcasts on YouTube every week. Over the next few, you know what? Hang on a second, guys. I'm blind as shit, and this is small print. There we go.
Did you want me to read it?
No, I had to blow it up so I could see it just a little better. Over the past few years, as he engaged in a never-ending, largely one-sided feud with his former co-host Hassan Piker, the leftist Twitch streamer who has been profiled in the New York Times, Klein has also become more hated than ever before. Dun, dun, dun. Largely one-sided war against Hassan. That is my favorite part of this.
Well, it's a nice way of stroking Hassan's hairy balls while she badmouths Ethan, I guess.
Well, she's doing, as she always has, Taylor's dirty work. She's in there licking the taint clean so Taylor can get her nose right up in it.
Oh, true.
But I love that. Who's been profiled by the New York Times? Yeah, if you read that New York Times profile, it's let's call it bad. Let's call it a bunch of bullshit lies from a leftist rag. How about that?
Well, that's just accurate.
That's saying something, because Klein used to happily throw around the N-word.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about throwing it around like all willy-nilly, but he did say it several times.
Sorry, I dropped there for a second. Can we just point out that it was just a little while ago that the left was defending when Ethan used the N-word? So did Hassan. Yes, so did Hassan. But she's specifically bringing back the, oddly enough, iDub stream. The stream where Ethan is chanting NF. I can't say it. I mean, I could because I'm not the one who said it. It was them, but I'm not gonna, the N-word and the F slur. He was chanting it over and over again. That was iDubbbz was on there. They were specifically talking about how iDubbbz used to chant that over and over again.
Yeah.
But suddenly that's oh my God, can you believe he did that? Where were you 3 years ago?
Well, he was conveniently useful then.
Yes.
The left always eats their own when they're not useful.
Yeah, and if you are on the left and they've forgiven you for something, I promise you they won't in the future. Now, I'm going to be crystal clear here. I don't give a shit about him saying it at all.
That's just words.
No, it's just words.
He's one of those people that has those unrealistic standards that says that you have to be above all reproach and criticism. So by his own measure, he's a bad person. Yes, but he wasn't at the time for saying it.
When we've talked about it, it's about the hypocrisy of him going after other people for words when he's done that shit.
Yeah.
But now suddenly, can you believe how hated he was for that? For the record, when he did that, he wasn't hated for it. He was actually still being cheered for it at that time because that was before he had his Susan, please save me. We got to make the world safe from mean words.
Oh,
because that's when he suddenly has the, oh my God, you can never say those bad words again.
Everybody bought a fainting couch that year.
But since October 7, 2023, Klein has repeatedly escalated allegations of anti-Semitism against Piker for his outspoken stance against Israel and support of the Palestinians. That's one way to put it. Don't mention anywhere in there that they are 99%. The only part that Ethan Klein does not agree with Hassan Piker is on terrorism being okay.
Yeah.
Ethan is with him on that. He's called it war crimes, what the Israelis are doing. He has said Netanyahu is a war criminal. He said that the IDF is a terrorist organization. He's with him on almost everything except Hamas being okay for being terrorists. That's the only part where he draws the line, and this is how it is. This is how it's given out to people, and this does become important to the communism stuff in a little bit, guys. I promise. Where are we? Klein is Jewish and has lived in Israel. I just love that that's thrown in here, like it's pertinent. He's lived with the Jews, and he is one, you guys.
He's been among them.
He's been with the Jews. Anyway, while Piker is Turkish American and was raised Muslim. Yeah, I mean, he is technically Turkish American. He's lived in Turkey, you know, where Erdogan is such a horrible person. So clearly Hassan must be too.
Oh, no. See, Turkey, that's where the sainted brown people live. Whereas Ethan lived among them sneaky people.
Them sneaky Jews.
Yeah. It's really disgusting, the covert anti-Semitism in here.
Klein's obsession with attacking Piker and anyone who agrees with or is associated with Piker has made Klein the repeated subject of viral content, dragging him to hell and back. You know, Faithless, I don't even try to pronounce the leader of Turkey's name correctly because I always fuck it up. Anyway, she then provides 5 different things of, you know, people dragging Ethan. Yeah. Look, I'm not going to say that there hasn't been endless shit said about him on Twitter and memes and stuff, but it really does go both ways. And I would dare say that Piker has gotten way more shit than Ethan Klein has. Because Ethan only gets shit when he says something really stupid, and same with Hassan, but Hassan only says really stupid shit. And occasionally Ethan is talking about stuff that doesn't have anything to do with politics. It's probably still stupid, but nobody cares about it because it's, you know, not stuff that gets people outraged.
Yeah.
This week, Klein continued to be so mad at Piker for being anti-Israel that he decided to sue 3 women about it. Okay, remember the title of this? Ethan Klein's War on Women. Even in this, where you finally get to the women part of it, that would still be a war on Hassan. He's suing women about Piker, according to her. Don't worry, we'll get into that in just a second. This wouldn't be a war on women. It'd be a war on a terrorist supporting fuck nugget. He's suing the women's. And this is why I think what's her name? Casey Tron has done so well in the last 24 hours. Where Jack, she's raised $24,000 in 24 hours.
That's crazy.
She's the only one. Okay, I don't want to say the only one who's pushing the, oh my God, they're attacking women thing. She's the most vocal about, oh my God, they're attacking women. Casey Tron is out there feeding the trolls. I don't know if you saw this, Jack, but she claims not only does she not remember making that response to Ethan, but that she didn't do it and that Ethan faked it.
Oh, is she claiming it's AI? Because that'd be hilarious.
She's claiming that Ethan just took video of her and put it in the corner of his thing and claimed she was responding to it.
She's aware of something called like downloading, right? Or
you would think so, but no. She's playing it up, and I'm seeing people out there like, oh my God, I can't believe how mean people are being to Casey Tron.
Can't believe how stupid people are being.
One lady actually said, let her suffer the consequences for her actions. Well, she'd have to take responsibility for her actions first.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
And all she has done is come out there and be like, You're just getting the incels who've hated me my whole YouTube career after me. So
Oh my God.
that is literally the line she has taken, is that it's just the incels coming to get me.
Oh no, the incels. Oh no.
She got served today, Jack, with the lawsuit, and she
Oh,
went
you
on
got
stream
served.
and cried about it.
About getting served?
Yeah,
She knew it was coming.
you would think.
I mean,
Can,
how do you
he,
not know that? You were already told you're getting sued. Like, he wasn't kidding.
well,
Did she think it was a joke?
It upset her because her dad had to bring it to her because her dad got served. Which can that happen?
Yeah.
Okay,
If she lives at the house, yeah.
so he gets the lawsuit and has to bring it to her. It's like, I can't. My dad had to bring it to me, and you guys have just made it so horrible. Now my dad had to bring me a lawsuit. You did that, lady. Nobody else made you respond to that.
I'd be willing to bet that she answered the door when the process server came there and she refused to accept it. And he's like, it doesn't matter. And her dad had to actually take the paperwork.
Well,
That's what I would bet.
she also claims that, and she had to correct this, but she claimed that they were using something her dad was doing. He was responding to a bunch of other stuff. I don't fucking care. But they used that to trick him into getting it. And then she had to come back and go, no, that's not what happened. It just happened at the same time. So yeah, she's just a fucking liar. If you guys don't know, I've known about Casey Tron for a long time because you know how I love my drama, and she's constantly in fucking drama.
Apparently, the fact that she's denying it was even her, like the video's not real,
Yeah.
stuff like that, that is so ludicrously stupid and easily disproven. You know,
Yes.
Ethan downloaded that stream or had somebody do it.
All they need is one time her addressing something said on the video to prove that she was responding to the video.
Yeah, and if he's got the date and time when that was that live stream happened, they could subpoena YouTube's records, and YouTube will turn it over in a second, proving that stream actually happened, and if it was deleted, because I've heard these ladies are deleting things now.
Yes.
And that is the stupidest thing you could do. Your punitive damage is just tripled. Seriously, you're destroying evidence? You fucking idiots. You're told you're getting served. The first thing you do is, even if you're guilty, you preserve the evidence, because otherwise you are going to get power butt slammed by the judge.
Yeah, and as for her nonsense about not remembering doing it, Legal Mindset covered this in one of his videos about this. That is not a defense here.
No, it's not at all. It doesn't matter if she was drinking and did it. There's no defense for this. She's on video doing it, and Ethan almost certainly has the video. And if he doesn't, his lawyers will prove it did exist. It's very easy. Everything is digitally time-stamped and marked these days. This is stupid. This is almost as dumb as Ricada saying that the mirror of his live stream doesn't count because somebody else's logo is at the bottom.
Yes.
That is absolutely a loser idea. You are just desperate. And the fact they're deleting videos and live streams is so insanely foolish and short-sighted. That actually makes me mad. I'm actually angry about that. You're just dumb.
Right now, Frogan is the smartest of the three, which I can't believe I'm saying that out loud.
I know, right?
In that she has mostly stayed quiet about this. Denims did a whole 2-hour bit during one of her streams talking about the lawsuit thing. She was mostly smart enough to stay away from the actual case, but she kept talking and wouldn't shut the fuck up and probably hurt herself further.
Yeah, these people are very self-centered, like borderline narcissistic. They can't shut up. They're too arrogant. They need the attention.
Casey Tron is treating this like she's Medicare laughing at somebody threatening him, and she's just burying herself.
Yeah, see, Medicare isn't getting sued because he knows the line.
Yeah.
And if he was getting sued, he's smart enough to shut the fuck up.
Well, there's a ton of people who've come after him, but we're going to get you. And he's always just mocked them. Like, what are you going to fucking do? This is
Yeah.
an actual case, Casey. This isn't a troll. This isn't a joke. Shut up.
Well, it's a joke, but not for the reasons they think.
Hang on. Let me see if I can find that. I got to show this part because it's just amazing to me. So she's showing all these people who are being mean to you, being so mean to me. So mean to me. And the one on the screen here, this is one of her proof that the incels are coming to get her. And it's literally just a guy telling her to shut the hell up. Very nicely, by the way. Very nicely telling her, shut up about this. And literally linking to her the US code that's involved here and going, shut up. He's saying, stop talking about it. I'm the one using the term. So he's not even saying shut up meanly. And she's like, get heavy incel, they're coming for me.
So somebody giving her really good legal advice.
Yeah.
Is now an incel coming for. What a dumb shit.
But no, but it's working for her. Clearly, she's made $24,000.
Yeah, that she's gonna have to hand over to Ethan in a massive settlement. Dumbass.
Well, the reality is Ethan's probably not going to see any of this money. All of that money is going to her lawyer. And here, let me help you out here, Casey. You might be able to get away with not giving Ethan money for a long, long time. You are not going to be able to get away with not giving your lawyer money.
Not if you want to keep that lawyer.
You stiff a lawyer, they're going to sue you too.
And they will take everything. Look, Ethan will probably get, like, if she owns a house, he'll put a lien on the house or take it outright as part of her assets if she declares bankruptcy. But these people are dumb. She's going to just throw all this money in the trash.
Yeah.
If she was smart, she'd be like, look, how can we settle this? I'll gladly, say you're going to make a video apologizing and get out with a settlement. Like, it's going to be expensive, but it's a lot less expensive than if you drag this through court. People have no idea how much lawsuits cost.
And you're going to end up paying Ethan's lawyer's fee.
Yeah, you're going to pay his lawyers plus whatever, because you can add that with the damages. It'll be damages plus punitive plus legal expenses.
OnlyFans is the only option to pay Ethan, and Lesser then goes, or that was meh, and Lesser says maybe for Denims. This is just a quick aside. Denims used her Hassan connections, let's just say it that way, to get what's his name, Tectone, removed from Twitch again, this time for a month, because he called her a whore.
Well, I mean, that.
Well, the funny thing is, I saw the video. I don't watch Tectone, and I haven't been aware of him until this whole thing starts blowing up. But I did catch the clip where he's talking about that. She was whining that people called her a whore. And so he went, you have an OnlyFans. You are a whore.
I mean, I find it hard to disagree with the truth of that statement.
Meanwhile, Denims has said, or was it Casey? No, it was Casey Tron who has said, Tectone is a rapist. She tweeted that out.
Jesus Christ. Are all these people trying to get sued?
She said, she tweeted out, Tectone is a rapist, and he's got his big break from a neo-Nazi, something like that. And somebody asked her for proof. Said, do you have any proof of this? And her response to it was, these people are out here saying I'm falsely accusing people.
You just called somebody a rapist. Unless you have evidence of that, or he's been charged, then sorry. That's defamation, you stupid bitch. You better have some evidence, or you are a liar.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She is not a very smart person. Anyway, let's get back to Kat here. This week, Klein continued to be so mad at Piker that he sued 3 women. I love that. Wait, we do got to go back. For being anti-Israel. Once again, Ethan's not pro-Israel. He believes Israel has a right to exist, but that it's being run very horribly. So I love that it's just because he doesn't like Israel. Ethan doesn't like Israel either. He is the definition of a self-hating Jew. Anyway, he filed lengthy typo-ridden lawsuits for copyright infringements against female Twitch streamers who reacted to a nearly 2-hour video Klein made about Piker in January, which he has since revealed was a trap to try and sue Piker for streaming. No. Snubber, thank you. Tectone had a backup, and his dad was a infamous rapist, hence the labels. Oh, or had a bad breakup. I'm so sorry. I blame my eyesight on that one. I've heard people talk about his dad, but again, I don't know enough about Tectone to speak on it. I'll have to look into that further. Anyway, let's talk about this. In the content nuke, Ethan asks Piker to respond to it. He then goes on, and when they get in their debate, all of that is just watch it. You won't even respond to it. Why not? He wanted Piker to respond to it, not so he could sue him, so that they could have the argument. But this has become one of the talking points, is that Ethan was trying to set up Hassan here. No, he wasn't. Watch the video. He told Hassan, respond to this. Another thing that a lot of them point to is there's a clip of.
And now we'll never know.
This is him giving permission, but they all cut off the part where he says you can't just use it in its entirety and just post it up there, that he still had conditions on it. But here's the thing. If Ethan Klein tells you today you can use all of his stuff, you can upload it in full, and then tomorrow he changes his mind, he's allowed to do that because he owns it. Unless you have a contract with him saying that you have it and can use it for eternity, he can pull that at any time he wants to. So even if they were correct, which they're not, it doesn't matter because he has since said no. And even then, he hasn't sued everybody who reacted to this. There were times if he was just suing people who were reacting to this, do you think he would sue Asmongold and XQC or the girls, who combined don't make as much as either one of those two guys? If he was in this for the money or just to trap people who support Hassan, he could have got XQC easily. Anyway, where are we? By the way, what she's misunderstanding here is when Ethan said he set this up because he knew people were going to respond to it, and somehow that became he knew Hassan was going to do it. Everybody knew Hassan wasn't going to respond to this because Hassan doesn't respond to criticism. Hassan, we saw it with the Willie Mack thing, right? Where he brings Willie Mack on to talk about Willie's videos and he says he never watched them. Hassan is a thin-skinned pussy who does not watch criticism of him.
Oh, he can't handle criticism.
No.
From what I've seen, that's why he doesn't watch it. He can't accept that he's done anything wrong. I have a feeling he was a very, very spoiled child.
Anyway, to try and trap Piker for streaming copyrighted content on his channel, you don't have to trick him into doing that. He's literally streamed Hell's Kitchen. That is copyrighted content.
Yeah.
Piker didn't do it, but these women did, so Klein sued them instead. I hope you guys are getting where we're going with this. I hope you're understanding that this is going to be a critique of the media and more so of communistic propaganda and how they do it, because that's what this is. Now, we might look at it and go, well, they're not actually talking about economic systems here. That's not all communism encompasses. There's the propaganda wing that just goes out there and destroys anybody that disagrees with them. And that's what this shit is. Where are we? The suit featured dozens of claims about Piker, including a paragraph comparing Piker to a prominent Palestinian who has been dead for 50 years but collaborated with Adolf Hitler and other Nazis to oppose the establishment of Israel.
Damn.
I haven't read the lawsuit, but I bet this has to do with laying up the groundwork of what all happened. But Kat doesn't care about nuance. She just cares about selling the message that he went after the women's.
Yeah. I kind of went on a little side tangent. It looks like Tectone's dad was convicted back in 2011 of 14 charges, including having pornography on his government computer, sexually harassing 3 women, and assaulting 5 women.
Oh, damn.
You know what he got for that? A fine of $30,000 and 3 months in prison. And the army forced him to retire.
What was the assault specifically?
The way it's worded in H7588 from the congressional record, because this was brought up before Congress, it was sexual assault.
But I mean, sexual assault can be grabbing a woman's titties.
No, this sounds like it was the other kind.
Rape? You can say the word. We're not on those pussies who refuse to say words. You can say it.
It sounds, because they're talking about an epidemic of rape in the military and sexual assault.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it went from rape down to sexual assault for the purposes of this. And it's because of him that apparently Congress decided to tighten up and punish people a little harder for the old nasty in the military, because apparently the military was kind of lax on punishing rape.
Rape is laxly punished.
Oh, absolutely.
Snubber, thank you. He had a congressional hearing about it that was bad, or it was that bad. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, the congressional hearing about it isn't because the rape it was that bad. It was because it was in the military and they have purview over that.
Yeah, and apparently the punishments are super lax. I'll drop the X link to the synopsis version.
You know, I
read it.
Because of all of the murder porn that I watch, I've really come to look down on our legal system.
Yeah, no shit.
Because they'll do things like life in prison, out in 7 years.
Yeah. So there was one in California that the guy was convicted of, it got 2 life sentences, and he was out in 3 years.
Yeah, because politicians like to go out there and be like, we're going to make this crime even harder. So, way back in the day, if you murdered somebody, there was a good chance you'd get out 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And then we're like, no, life in prison. By the way, life in prison means 25 years, and you're eligible for parole after a half of it.
Yeah, but we've gotten to this point where we're so soft on crime.
Yeah.
Like, rape should be a much stiffer sentence. Excuse the pun. No matter what. Like, it should. I am sorry. There should be a mandatory prison time for diddling kids and rape. And as far as I'm concerned, those are both death penalty cases.
We have these horrible punishments for it, and then we don't actually use them. And then the left will come out and be like, there's a rape culture. Well, yeah, it's your lefty judges and your not victim advocates, criminal advocates.
Yep.
Who are out there. You can't be this mean to these people who rape folks.
Yeah. Oh, they're just oppressed. Oh, feel bad for them. No, I don't feel bad for people that do the wrong thing. You know it's the wrong thing. I don't give a shit about your childhood. Stop committing crimes.
For the record, that's not just with rape and murder. It's with everything in our legal system.
Yep.
We either need to be honest about it, and be like, okay, you murdered somebody, 8 years, or we need to actually enforce these sentences we have. But a lot of it is like, well, there's prison overcrowding. Build a new one.
Yeah, build bigger prisons. We would have less crime if you were actually enforcing these laws. Because let's face it, a lot of it's recidivism.
Yep.
That's people that do it again, for those of you that don't know that word. Our audience is smart. I'm saying it for the trolls. Or it's people that see their friends going to these basically luxury resorts, getting minimal sentences, just actually serving minimal sentences. So they're like, fuck it, I'll get a reputation, take a little vacation. Prison is not scary enough. It's not hard enough. And I'm really sick of this shit. Places like California are leading the way in pussy crime punishment.
And then they'll blame the crime on everything except for letting people get away with it.
Oh, there's always an excuse. They try so hard to keep anybody from taking accountability. Oh, it's the environment he was raised in. Oh, it's part of the culture. Oh, it's because they wanted the bread. That's why they stole those TVs.
I realize in the case of Tectone's dad that we're talking about within the military system, but even then, I mean, if what you told me is correct, at least one woman got actually raped.
Yeah.
And 3 months for that. For real?
Yeah. Yeah, granted, it was a military prison, which is probably a little harder, but 90 days? Come on, dude. You gotta be shitting me. And he didn't have to register as a sex offender because it was, through the military courts.
And 90 days, even in the military, you're not going to Leavenworth. You're going to a brig somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure it was probably a fairly easy time, but it's just enraging. So sorry about the little side tangent, but that really made me mad. Almost as bad as these stupid whores justifying their bad behavior. We are raising a culture that thinks the rules do not apply to them.
The feud between Klein and Piker is so labyrinthian, it would actually take hours to dissect it.
No, it would. They used to be friends, now they're not. The end.
There's 10-minute videos that cover it all. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But this most recent escalation troubled me on another level. Klein's lawsuit against these 3 women was so frivolous that even he doesn't think they'll make it to court.
Most things don't actually go through trials. They get settlements and make plea deals.
Yeah, part of the process, I don't know how many of you guys know this, but if you're suing somebody, part of the process is arbitration.
Yep.
Before you ever go to a court. Hang on, I want to bring this up because I have not seen the clip that she linked to right there.
Oh,
where even Ethan doesn't think it's going to court. So let's see.
Lost wages. Oh, so she's carving out. She's carving out some space here, some creative space here for herself.
As we mentioned, she's the only one that has this in there. The other 2 are just like, I'm being sued. Help me pay for it. And she's like, I need lost wages.
I need money.
Any bills or personal expenses I have from lost wages and damages arising from this litigation. Lost wages? You mean the money you're going to pay me?
No, she means things like the week she's going to take off, and that way she can claim. Oh, no, I used that GoFundMe for that.
I'll tell you, she's fleeing the country.
Once again, she's the smartest of the 3 here, which really pains me because I can't believe I would ever refer to Frogan as the smartest in any context.
Fantha said the tangent was far more interesting than the H3 drama.
Sure, but again, there's all reason for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like having to go to court instead of working.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that's the intent, anyways.
This isn't going to court. I honestly, like, there's no shot. Ethan's a creep. I hope he loses.
Okay, that is entirely different than what that idiot said.
I mean, I could see where she didn't understand it because she's dumb, but she's not portraying it accurately.
Okay, saying even he doesn't think they'll make it to court doesn't mean he thinks it's a frivolous lawsuit or that it's a bad lawsuit. He thinks they'll be smart enough to settle before it makes it all the way through the court system.
Yeah, because even he doesn't want to spend $100,000 dragging this thing through court because he's got to front the money. Even if he theoretically he gets it back from them, but I suspect these people are all living paycheck to paycheck and pissing their money away because they're irresponsible young people.
Even he doesn't think they'll make it to court despite his demand for a jury trial. How dare this fucker use his constitutional rights? His demand.
His demands? Oh my gosh. Why didn't she just say Jew-mans?
Demanding it go through a jury is a gamble. A judge is more likely to understand the copyright law. A jury is more likely to frivolously give you money.
Yeah, the jury is going to give you more punitive damages.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's. I think he thinks it's going to settle anyway, so he just went with the jury.
Because if you do make it to trial, you want the jury there for when you win, so they can give you a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
The jury system in civil court is why we have such a tort problem. Because they're like, well, that company has $1 billion. They should give up 500 million of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that person just slipped and fell in a store and they had $10,000 of legal or of medical stuff. It's amazing to see some of the jury awards that are out there.
Oh, like the one against Alex Jones. Was
yeah.
Insane.
But anyway, where are we? But they are still going to be extremely expensive, time-consuming, and stressful. And they have provoked a torrent of misogynistic abuse aimed at these women.
No, misogyny.
Who were already frequent targets.
Oh, fuck off. Because they're women on the internet, they're automatically targets. Never mind the fact that men get attacked too. This is about women. Know what else is about women? Father's Day, penises, all things masculine.
I want to join Kat in ending misogyny. So anytime that you're talking about Hassan Piker, please make sure to use proper feminine wording.
Yeah. I would like to end women's suffrage, but nobody listens to me.
Anything that you'd say about that whore Denims, you should say about that whore Hassan. Don't be misogynistic. Keep it equal. They're both whores. That's fair, right? That's what equality is.
Yeah, I suppose.
Not only that, because I believe in equity, I think you should do it even more to Hassan.
Oh, yeah, because you got to fight the patriarchy.
Yes. We got it. He's much bigger creator, so he deserves much more misogyny thrown his way.
Yeah, you need to redistribute the misogyny wealth.
Oh, shit. Anyway, so Jack, all of this just reminded me of, well, I don't want to say remind me. It came up at the same time as I was reading something else that really did make me want to have a conversation.
Oh.
Hang on one second. I closed that, didn't I? I did. I'm good at my job. So this guy, where is that? Bam. There you go. Now you guys can join me in this trip. I don't know him. Tyre Winklevoss.
That sounds made up.
That sounds like a character name from a kid's book.
Or D&D in module, like somebody's D&D character. What's his last name? Winklebottom?
Winklevoss.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's something to do with buttholes, I think.
I'm not going to read this whole thing. I will throw it into chat if you guys want to read it, because it is pretty good. But it addresses some stuff we've talked before about, and about what we just saw happen right there. But anyway, a lot of people have asked me if I will get involved in a New York City mayor's race by supporting a candidate that can defeat Zoran Mamdani. To be honest, I'm torn and undecided. Like every other city run by Democrats, New York City is a broken kleptocracy. Taxes are astronomical, and services are pathetic to non-existent. Anarchy and socialism are the next logical steps in this story arc. Those two actually don't go together. It's one of the few things that I disagree here. Socialism, like communism, requires a heavy hand. It requires an iron fist.
That's Tyler, not Tyre.
What?
You mispronounced his name.
I thought I said Tyler. If I did say it wrong, are you?
Tyre?
You're bringing that? I haven't said his name in a while.
That was like 5 minutes ago. No, I thought his name sounded familiar. He's a crypto investor. This guy's like supposed to be really smart.
Yeah, I don't know him. Guys, did I say Tyre? I feel like Jack just wasn't listening. You also said I called him Winklebottom.
No, I thought you said Winklebottom. But again, I may not have been fully listening. I might have Dateline on mute on the TV.
That just confused the shit out of me because I'm reading this and you're like, his name's Tyler. Like, huh?
Yeah, I thought you said Tyre Winklevoss. And I was like, that's a D&D character. That's not a real name. So I looked it up and he's like this asset management guy who does like crypto. He's like super fucking smart. He went to the Wharton School. He's an author and a professor of actuarial science. This dude's a genius.
You indeed said Tyre. If I said Tyre, it was just me mispronouncing it. It wasn't that I actually said that because I would have made fun of his name being Tyre. I was more concentrated on the Winklevoss.
He was in the Beijing Olympics.
No, I literally knew nothing about this guy till I read this.
Yeah, he was in the Beijing Olympics and the Pan American Games. Like this guy's impressive, man. I'm sorry, I'm just really kind of blown away. He might be Batman. I'm not sure.
What did he do in the Olympics? I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Oh yeah, he was an Olympic rower for the U.S.
Okay.
Men's
Did we
rowing.
win? Or is it like men's soccer?
No, 6th place in the Beijing Olympics. But he apparently got some kind of he got a gold in the Pan American Games in Rio and a silver in Rio as well.
Could you talk for just a minute?
Yeah. I guess he's one of the guys possibly behind Facebook, which is probably why the name sounded familiar. Yeah, he's one of the guys that sued Zuckerberg. He would have changed his name to Steve Smith. I don't know. You could market that. I mean, I made fun of his name, but my name has cock in it, so because I have a large penis. But yeah, Winklevoss. Yeah, it's a unique name. You could probably use that for branding. But yeah, he's apparently really smart.
Anyway, sorry about that. I had to step away for just a second.
No problem. Yeah, this is one of the brothers that sued Zuckerberg.
Oh, okay.
Over Facebook. It was likely their idea. He liberated it.
I don't think there's anything more that I want to read of this. I just want to jump down, put it on the screen if you guys want to read it. I threw the link in the chat. But he talks about the voting base there in New York and the problems with it, and about how it's a bunch of lefty kids who were raised by lefty parents who sent them to indoctrination centers.
It's not wrong.
And how trying to break in there, it's look, these are technically adults, but when you're dealing with them, you really do need to understand where they came from. And I'm not talking like, oh, you see, I have black skin, so you know who I am. No, these are kids who, one, already have the arrogance of youth, Jack.
Yeah.
And they've grown up in a system that has indoctrinated them into commie bullshit to where they're like, no, there's the only thing wrong with communism is that we didn't let it flourish.
Yeah.
I heard Bernie Sanders say I'd have bread.
Ooh, bread. Wow.
And then on top of that, you have a large portion of the population who thinks children are just the smartest thing ever. So they're told commie talking points. They have their natural arrogance. And then you have media and politicians going, children are the smartest people on the planet.
No,
So
I'm with him on this. He seems to know what he's talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, if this guy leaves New York, a lot of people will follow. This guy's worth $3.7 billion.
Getting involved in New York right now, I mean, they just, it's only, we are 24 years removed, 23 and a half from Muslims blowing up and taking down the Twin Towers.
Yep. And a lot of the people voting now were children at best when it happened.
And they just the election's in November, but he's probably going to win. They just picked as their Democratic candidate a socialist Muslim.
Well, you gotta, like you said, these are people that have been indoctrinated their whole lives. They probably are too young to remember 9/11. And they're going to vote for this person because he's an oppressed minority. They don't know anything about Muslim culture. They don't know anything about Islam in general, or the pedos that come with it. And they love communism because they think it's an ideal system. And like all ideals, it's failed. But guys like Winklevoss here are going to flee New York if that guy gets elected. And New York is going to be broke.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't take that many of these billionaires to flee before you start really hitting their tax base.
Shit, you threw me off with that part.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're not saying anything wrong. But I was listening to you and going, yeah, and then I forgot what I was going to say. Talking about these kids, at this point almost ridiculous notion that you could change their minds, because if you do point out where they're wrong, they just won't take it.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to look at the story we just looked at from Cat 10 Barge and think about what you know from watching this show, or if you follow it yourself, about what's actually gone on with Ethan and Hassan and what we read in that article. Now, anybody that's on Hassan's side will look at that article and go, look, it says it right here what happened. Ethan has just come after him over and over again because he's anti-Israel, even though he's really not. And now he's just going after women because he's a bad person. This is how communism does it. This is how they indoctrinate. You tell these kids what you want them to know. And then if it's ever challenged, you just have to give them something that calls that challenge into question. And then they get to go on believing stupid.
Yeah, they always double down. That's what communists do.
Yep.
That's the downside of having so much self-esteem and arrogance taught into them at a young age, is they can never be wrong. They never step outside of their own position and say, well, let's see what they're saying, and if maybe I'm incorrect. That sort of certainty is a self-fulfilling doomsday prophecy for anybody. You cannot be 100% certain and succeed in life. It is not going to happen. You are just doomed to, because people need to recognize their own failings and learn from them. You can't grow as a person without learning. It's just not possible. These people are going to turn New York back into the 70s and probably worse.
A wise man once said, it's what you know after you know everything that really counts. And
yeah,
I heard that when I was a teenager, and I'm glad I did. because it really has shaped a lot of my life. Now, typically around here, we're a little self-deprecating about our intelligence, but let me assure you, if you are 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25, anywhere in that notion, I am smarter than you. I don't care where you went to school. I don't care what degree you have. I will put my intelligence against yours any day of the week. And it's not because I'm just naturally smarter. It's I've had 25 more years to learn things and have used it to do so. Does that mean I'm always right? No. And if you think I'm wrong, by all means, challenge me. But you have these kids out here nowadays. I mean, what's the joke about when they go to a family gathering? Oh, racist old dad. All the old people are just racist and stupid. And these young kids who've been indoctrinated in this nonsensical SJW, PC, woke, whatever the fuck you want to call it, bullshit, think that they know fucking everything. And one of the funniest things is if you actually do challenge them, you actually do show them proof, they don't learn. Instead, they get angry or violent. They have an allergic reaction to reality.
Yeah. And they've been taught, because there's no consequences, that it's okay to get angry and violent when you're not getting your way or somebody confronts you with something. It's seen as a literal attack on their being to just show them reality. They cannot handle it. And I think you're going to see a lot more of this, especially in these hotbeds of liberalism. Is this Portland?
I don't remember where this is. This is from Andy No, though. And
probably Portland.
This is a good telling of this. I want to show you guys this video.
Side, they're coming! Damn, bitch! You're overweight as fuck! What you gonna tase it for? What the fuck you gonna tase it for? Oh my god! Are you fucking serious?
Can we watch that part again?
Sorry, yes, we can watch that again. There is a better angle of the face plant.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wait
Oh
for
my
it.
god! Oh my 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 god! Holy fuck! What the fuck? You just kicked her! What the?
This is outside of an ICE detention area, Jack.
Yeah.
The chick that they are doing this to, who's actually a guy. The reason they're doing it, can we get a good picture of it? It's hard to see. She's carrying a machete.
I'm not surprised. They're lucky that they didn't use live ammo in that case, because the taser is not infallible.
It's not a better angle. You saw nothing. I saw their face up close. But did you hear the people shouting? And if you go on, whoops.
This person is unconscious. This person is unconscious. Holy fuck. That person is unconscious.
They'll get medical treatment in the facility.
This is a person who was running around brandishing a machete.
Yeah. Again, look, I don't like the militarization of the police, but if they'd shot that person dead, they were completely justified because they have a machete.
I just love watching them fall.
Side, they're coming!
Hang on, where's my volume? We'll turn off the volume so we can just watch
screeching.
Oh,
yeah,
goddamn, right there.
Machete right there. Yeah.
Whoops. I did not mean to click over there. I forget. Side,
they're coming!
Yeah, there's
Damn, bitch!
the light glints right off of that machete. And
Yeah.
Why are you being so mean to her? Thunk.
That person was a danger to themselves and others, and anywhere in that immediate area. They had to take that person down. They're running around with a machete, probably screaming something, and they're obviously part of this like protest / riot.
Yeah.
So you don't know if they would attack somebody they thought was a cop. There could be some security guard getting off work that was in immediate danger right there.
these kids have it in their minds that they are always right and they
Yeah.
always just have to fight this fucker had a machete.
Yeah, there's a dozen reasons they could have justified shooting that person dead.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but we hear the term brandishing a firearm a lot.
Yeah.
Brandishing a weapon is illegal. You can't do that. I bet they didn't kick the guy, but kicked his weapon away. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they fell right next to their machete.
Dangerous. We don't know if that person was Muslim, so that may or may not apply.
I don't believe they are. If we do go to the full quote or tweet, exclusive on June 24th. Yep, it was Portland.
Yeah,
A Portland Trantifa militant confronted federal agents outside an ICE facility with a weapon before being tasered and face planting to the ground. Julie Michaela Winters, real name Christopher M. Hudson. I do want to give Julie a little bit of credit there because most of these trans folks are like, my name is Sequoia.
Yeah.
I'm Chloe. Trantifa, you've never heard that? You should follow Andy. He uses that term a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was an entire like cult around this Z person that he exposed. It was crazy.
He also has a separate open felony assault on an officer charge stemming from an incident last year. I really love this picture here because you get to see the catfishing versus reality.
Oh my god, yeah, that's wow.
We need our weaves.
Wow, yeah, and hair transplants for men. Wow. Call Bosley.
Well, you see how they're all yelling and screaming. That person, if anybody deserved to be tased, it was them. They were brandishing a fucking machete. At least it wasn't a gun. You know how much you can fuck up somebody's life with a machete, Jack?
Pretty horribly, yeah. Yeah, you can really if not outright kill them, you can ruin their life pretty fast. Not to mention you don't need to reload. It's just eventually you start swinging like a girl and look dumb. What gets me though is they have no problem with this person running around with a machete, possibly killing some of the ICE agents.
Yeah.
But they got tased, which is non-lethal, and you're bitching about that. That's how indoctrinated these people are. Violence is justifiable when they're using it.
Thank you, Corey, who says nose ring spotted. Indeed, indeed. But I'm going to be honest with you. We've done, hey, where are the warning signs in the photos before? In this one, it's not the nose ring. It's Adam's apple and penis.
Yeah.
250-pound dude has the nerve to put this as his profile picture over here.
Wow. Dude, that is some serious lying to yourself and others. Yeah, dude, I don't like how dangerous these people actually are. These are the true believers that would run around with Mao's Little Red Book and do struggle sessions. They will kill people because they could justify it in their head. But you do anything to them, and you're a bad person.
I want to read their booking information. Age 46. You are way too old for this behavior. Okay.
Yeah, by about 20 years.
Gender, female. Wrong. Race, white. Height, 5'6".
Oh, he's a little fella.
Weight, 250 pounds.
He's a really fat little fella.
God damn. That's a fat little wannabe woman.
Dude, that's a lot of weight at that. I mean, especially at his age, he needs to start losing some weight. Because at his height, that's really dangerously hot. Shit, dude,
That
almost outweighs me.
That is a lot of tofu woman right there.
Yeah, I got like a foot on that guy. Come on. What are you doing, man? Lay off the Doritos and Funyuns.
What else do I want to talk about tonight? I know there was another one. Oh.
Frodo got a machete.
This one's kind of drama related, but I don't care as much about the drama as I do about something said about it. So there's, of course, yet another YouTube controversy going on because somebody was being inappropriate with women, Jack.
Of course.
From the more lefty sphere, there's a Smash Pro, people who play Super Smash Brothers for pro things, player named Mango.
I thought that was a sex reference.
No.
Smash Pro, just say OnlyFans, ho.
No. Where is the actual clip? Fuck, I don't know where the actual clip is, but we can watch this guy watching the clip. They have this party. It's a drinking party, Jack.
Uh-huh.
Where they all got together to play some Super Smash Brothers, or no, they were playing Mario Kart. I'm sorry. And over here in the background, you can barely see his head on the screen. Right behind this chick wearing the toad thing, this happens.
No. He's humping toes. No.
What you don't get from this clip is right before he got on the couch, he was pretending to hump the chick in the toad thing.
The hat, yeah.
Yeah.
This looks like a hairnet. Like she's gonna start cooking dinner for me at a diner.
And a controversy has popped up because this guy apparently drinks a lot, and they're like, well, you invited a drunk guy to the drunk party.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you have booze there, maybe not inviting the guy that is known to over partake. Yeah, that might have been the better plan.
But
plus, what he should be doing is licking it like, I'll eat your mushroom. Mm-hmm.
He repeatedly dry humped women at this thing.
Well, that's not cool, man.
And he's not the only one who was drinking this heavily. So I have a problem with the notion that, oh, you shouldn't have invited the drunk guy to where all the drunk people were for this guy's inappropriate behavior with women. Him being drunk does not excuse this.
No, he's an asshole, but that's why you don't invite people like that. Like, if they knew he's a dick and he does shit like this, why would you invite him?
Well, that's the thing. As far as I know, there's no other clips of him doing this kind of stuff, but he is known for, it's what makes him popular is he gets really, really fucking drunk.
That's really sad.
Yeah, but it works online.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't understand that.
When you're just inviting the guy who's known for being drunk and you don't have any reason to believe that he would be dry humping them, how about don't have a big group of sex pests, because apparently that's what all lefty YouTubers are, or Twitch folks in this case.
It certainly seems that way, doesn't it? If they don't have an OnlyFans, they're some sort of pervert.
It's fucking weird, man. The number of these folks who turn out to be sex pests is junior high school teacher levels.
Yeah, it really is looking that way.
But it really bothers me that everybody's blaming it. Like, hey, you shouldn't have invited him. He's a grown-ass man. He could have been, because there's a lot of people like, well, he has a problem and they shouldn't have invited him. I hate that excuse for alcoholics. You know how you get when you're drunk. You know you're an asshole. You know you have to apologize to everybody. They're not responsible for not inviting you. You're responsible for saying no, thank you.
Yeah. Well, you know, if he's on Twitch, he's not going to do that.
But don't worry, Ludwig, the host of this, and Hassan Nuthugger, has said he won't invite this guy anymore. Yay. Progress.
I mean, I wouldn't have invited him, but... Oh, there is a Super Mario XXX. Huh.
Snubber, thank you. The Smash community is bad, pests, and the worst Me Too culture you ever seen. Yeah. It is amazing how many times I've seen... Look, there's a lot of drama we don't talk about on here.
Yeah, of course.
But it's amazing how many dramas have happened about people who play in Super Smash Brothers, where it's about like, and then he raped someone.
Jesus.
Dan,
look,
what are you cultivating over on your Twitch platform, sir?
apparently a bunch of anti-Semitic sex pests.
This guy is on a stream doing this. And as far as I know, he hasn't been banned for this. And Twitch's behavior guidelines does say that if you're doing egregious stuff on another platform or off of your own channel, that they can ban you for it.
Yeah, this seems like something you'd be banned for.
Nope. Thank God he didn't call a whore a whore.
Oh, yeah, well, he didn't say anything. He was just trying to dry hump some women like a fucking animal. What the hell, man? Look, I'm not exactly a moral Puritan here, but that's weird and creepy behavior. You're basically trying to like dress like rape them while they're dressed.
What bothers me even more about this, I mean, there's one point where this guy is being a pest to, I want to say it's the Asian chick there, and Ludwig comes in and kind of boxes him out, clearly also drunk off his ass.
Wow, why did these chicks stay here?
Because it gets the clout. I'm with Ludwig, and he sucks on Hassan's balls.
I don't know. If somebody's doing that to me, I leave.
No,
if they're not going to throw the dude out, you got to leave because that guy's going to be a problem.
Exactly, and that is my bigger problem. If I'm hosting a party and somebody's acting like this, I throw them the fuck out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't have that because if somebody does get sexually assaulted at one of these, like he starts really getting super pervy, they're going to come after you too. You're going to be in trouble too because you're hosting the party, you're providing the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Your entire net worth is going to be on the line as well.
Again, if he's never acted like this before and you invited him, that's not on you. You letting him stay there, that's entirely on you.
Yeah, and it looks like he's already down to his underwear. So it'd be like, dude, time to go.
I still want to see what a drunk monkey is like. How about you, Jack? Well, I mean, I've been drunk on stream before.
Yeah.
Look, the only thing that is different about me, drunk and not drunk, is I'm much louder. I slur my words a bit, and I laugh a shit ton more.
It's also difficult to get you to change topic.
It's always difficult to get me to change topic.
No, not like when you're drunk.
No, see, I disagree with that. There were times when Polly would come on here and try to change the subject. I'm not done with this. Shut up.
Well, I think that the circumstances are slightly different, but I get what you're saying. That's fair.
I think you're putting more thought into, or think it feels that way because I'm louder and more emphatic about not changing the subject, where normally that would just be in my head. So you're not entirely wrong, but okay, guys, we had a medical breakthrough today, and we can cure cancer, or at least reduce cancer and heart disease and obesity, Jack. And we can do it all very, very simply. Now you might be thinking, what?
Canadian? Oh,
maybe some better life choices, maybe some healthier eating habits.
I was thinking euthanasia, but
euthanasia. I mean, that could be part of it. No. Jamal Bowman, Mr. I'm gonna pull the fire alarm. He knows what really causes that in the black community.
Oh God.
Can't be calm about this. I'm a black man in America. The reason why heart disease.
I'm white. I can't comment.
Listen to what I'm saying. The reason why heart disease and cancer and obesity and diabetes are bigger in the black community is because of the stress we carry from having to deal with being called the N-word directly or indirectly every day.
Nobody's ever called you the N-word. Shut up. I'd be shocked if somebody actually said that to his face. He's not a small man.
Remember, he said, call us that directly or indirectly. So rap music causes heart disease, cancer, obesity, and diabetes in the black community.
Every time, like if I'm alone in my room here, I'm in my living room right now. If I whisper the N words, I just gave some dude diabetes.
Yes. Adebisi just got diabetes because of you.
I would never do that to Adebisi. I like Adebisi. He's funny.
Okay,
But,
don't say that word no matter what ever.
Well, I don't exactly go around saying it, but that's the dumbest fucking thing. Does this guy believe in like curses and talismans too? Like, is everything supernatural to him? Like, do all white people have like super racism powers that can like jinx and curse people? How does he think the world works?
This is 2025. The person most likely to call a black person the N-word is another black person.
And maybe an Asian from Asia.
Even then, no. They have nothing on the black community using the word that way.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So it's just a big circle of giving each other diseases.
Yes.
Not the fact that
it's black on black violence.
Oh my God. It's black supernatural powers because is it because they're plant people who absorb photosynthetic light and that's why they have soul?
I guess I don't know how this works. I
don't
can't
either.
believe this man was a congressman.
This is fucking lunacy. You know why there's a large amount of diabetes in the black community? First of all, black people tend to be a little bit more susceptible to it, just like sickle cell anemia.
Mm-hmm.
But they also eat ultra processed foods. They eat junk food because there's not a lot of nutrition going on in single parent households. I'm sorry, that's just the science of it. If you don't like that, maybe start teaching people in your community how to eat better and nutrition and stuff like that. Go out and exercise. Don't sit around at home and goof off. Like,
that's part of what annoys me about him saying this stupid shit. Because you can make a decent argument that black people suffer more heart disease and obesity and diabetes. I'm not so sure. I mean, cancer because of obesity. Yeah, maybe. But you can make the argument that they have poor diets because they're poor and junk food is cheaper than what we call health food.
Absolutely. Fast food is very cheap compared to eating healthy.
Yeah, but instead of doing that, he's like, it's because you call me the N-word.
Yeah, look, the black community has a lot of problems, and most of it involves education.
Mm-hmm.
If you would start valuing education instead of saying you're acting white and that stupid bullshit that's been going on since the 70s.
Yep.
Lyndon Johnson that destroyed the black community damn near single-handedly as far as I'm concerned. The Great Society.
Well, he was a good Democrat.
That's true. Who liked to say the N-word and pull his wiener out. But as far as I'm concerned, a lot of this stems from the Great Society. Sitting here and saying it's because people are mean to the blacks is the dumbest, most counterproductive thing I have ever fucking heard. But if you're white and you point out the problems, oh, no, you're just a racist. No, you need to start valuing education and start having your family structure fixed with the nuclear family, and then you'll have generational wealth. Then you'll have better diets, and you can afford nicer things and maybe get out of the hood. Oh my God, it's almost like there's a formula for these things. Sitting there screaming racism fixes nothing.
Yeah, and this just perpetuates the problem. And again, commie propaganda techniques here.
Oh yeah.
Hey, black people, you have heart disease and obesity because somebody's racist. It's not because you haven't gone out there and had your children get educated. It's not because you're not tiger moms making sure that your children do their fucking homework. No. It's because somebody might have said the N-word.
Yeah. This is not helping anything. It's counterproductive. The victim mentality has never been a successful model, and it never will be. And you know who's going to suffer even more under communism? The poor.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what color you are, Chief. poor people will suffer the most under communism. It's happened every time, and it'll be a growing class of people too.
Yeah, the only thing communism helps with the poor is the number of poor.
Yeah. Nobody gets richer under communism unless they're the leaders of the Communist Party.
Only the upper echelon. Everybody else just gets poorer.
Yeah.
And you don't just stay at your same level of poverty. Even your poverty gets worse.
Yeah, your standards of living drop till you either get wiped out or you escape it, which usually means fleeing whatever communist hellscape you're living in.
But these commie shitbags just have so many different ways of excusing any personal responsibility.
Yeah, and what gets me is this guy is pulling up the ladder behind him. He has already been very successful. He was a principal, then he became a congressman. And now he's on CNN spouting the same bullshit that he knows because he's successful. He knows this is bullshit. If he actually believes this, I don't know how he got as far as he did. But what he's doing is setting the stage for other people's life ruination.
Because he doesn't believe it is how he's gotten here. He has been a race baiter for a long time. And race baiting, especially if you're even a halfway coherent speaker, is a good way to make money.
Yeah.
Shit, even white people have gotten very wealthy off of going, can't believe how the white man treats black people.
Yeah, look at Robin DiAngelo.
Robin DiAngelo, the what was her thing? White guilt.
White fragility.
White fragility, that's it. And the knapsack. Fucking asshole. I hate that bitch.
I know. But
although I do think it's funny that Matt shamed her into giving money to a black guy. That was funny as fuck.
That was funny. No, I'm very upset at what's going on with the black community and this embracing of victimology. You didn't used to see it not on this scale.
No, there's always been a contingent of it, but black people were doing well. They were gaining and prospering, and it was the late 70s, all through the 80s, and every day since, them being told, no, you're a victim. You shouldn't have to act white. You shouldn't have to show up on time, speak proper English, no math. No, you can't be expected to do that. You're too dumb. You're black.
Yeah, you can't do it. Everybody's holding you down. So just be as ignorant and useless as possible, and we'll keep you on a little bit of government stipend.
Yep.
So you could just get by. It'll be just enough so you're not uncomfortable. You'll be just comfortable enough that you have no motivation to go out and try. Because God forbid you actually try and put some effort in your life.
You know what's kind of funny? The same people that tell you have to get a college degree to get a good job will also tell you black people can't do math. They shouldn't have to speak proper English because they just, you're trying to change their culture.
Yeah, it's said racism of lowered expectations.
Yes.
It's disgusting. It's
no,
more that
you know
white
what?
man's burden shit.
It is the plantation mentality.
Yeah.
These people can't do anything without massa doing it for them. We have to treat them like the dumb little kids they are.
Yeah, just like the was it Mississippi's secession papers? They said that black people needed white people to take care of them.
It was absolutely secessionist arguments. This was one of the arguments to keep slavery is that black people could not take care of themselves. That a white man had to do it. If you let them off the plantations, they would just devolve into, well, what they're turning them into now.
Yeah, it's so disgusting. That moved on to the eugenics movement, where they said there's a hierarchy of the races.
Yep.
And then we saw it continue on all through Johnson saying, well, we gotta just take care of the black people. And he destroyed the black nuclear family. He did more damage to black people than probably Jefferson Davis ever would have dreamed possible.
True. But it plays on television. I mean,
it's disgusting.
You can be an American politician and go on to national television and say heart disease is caused by the N-word and do it without shame. And you will have people go, yeah, he's absolutely right.
That is so fucking disgusting. People need to get a thicker hide. You're not going to survive in the world as a healthy adult if words hurt you this much. Oh, he said a word. Oh my God, I can feel the diabetes growing in me. Oh, shut up, you baby.
How about, hey, let's not drink so much sugary soda, especially as a black person who has a more susceptibility to things like heart disease and diabetes.
Yeah. Maybe learn some nutrition, exercise, take care of yourself, try and clean up your environment, like around you. Like Jordan Peterson said that whole thing about making your bed. It's because the little stuff matters. If you take care of little things, the bigger stuff you can get to, but it's all part of because it's about focus and dedication. And your life is going to go nowhere if you just give up and shrug at the first sign of any kind of problem. Be like, well, it's just racism. Oh, get over yourselves. It's not about racism.
You remember when we were kids and there'd be a movie about a family in the ghetto, and mom insisted, no, you're not going to go hang out with those hoodlums. You're going to sit here and do your homework. And it was presented as a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But we don't see that anymore.
No.
Now it's like, oh, there's such a victim. You know, that first couple episodes of Ironheart dropped. Have you watched any reviews on that?
I saw a little bit of Disparu talking about it and going over the reviews, but I wasn't really paying attention because I was doing show setup.
Well, one of the things in there is she steals a set of armor from MIT.
Yeah, he's been on this for a long time because her whole plot thing is basically that she's a thief, but it's okay because she's a good guy.
Yeah, because she's a Robin Hood type, and of course it's the lefty version of Robin Hood, not the real one. He's just she's redistributing the wealth, man. No, she's a thief. You took a genius black girl and made her a common thief.
Yes, because that's what we have to do. Because she's at MIT, but damn it, she can't get ahead.
Yeah, because she's held to the same standard as everyone else, and that's one of the reasons she's upset. Is she's like, it's beneath me. That first of all, your entitlement is out of control. Oh, you're so smart, things are beneath you. Yee, fuck off. But then she goes and steals the armor, and there's a scene that in there where she's putting one of the gauntlets on, and it says "Property of MIT" on it.
Yeah,
she is literally just a common thief. So you're telling me that even the most genius, successful potential for black people, they still have to steal? This is what part of their culture? Is that the subtext I'm supposed to be picking up? Because that's what you're telling me. That's really shitty writing. Also incredibly racist.
You're supposed to pick up that she has to steal because white man made her steal.
Yeah.
That's the message there. And like you point, this is a horrible message to send to black youth because, hey, we got to have representation. Why are all the representations criminals?
Yeah. What I mean, for all the flaws Luke Cage had, that was a much better portrayal of a black man.
I liked Luke Cage. I didn't finish it because I got bored about halfway through, but the first half of it was really good.
Yeah, it got a little weak because they dragged out the storyline too long. Should have had 2 story arcs instead of 1.
Well, I also get really bored when it's like, oh, we're fighting an Asian gang. Like I don't care.
Yeah, well, I get that, but I mean, at least he was portrayed. He was a hardworking guy. Got caught up in some mess, ended up with superpowers, and what did he do? He took care of his neighborhood.
Yep.
He even went and defended the landlord who was bullying him or trying to and threatening to kick him out. He went and saved their lives, and he still had a job. He worked at the barber shop, so maybe portray that like a redemption arc as opposed to, well, we got to steal to get ahead because you can't be a genius without billions of dollars. What?
Devil Pump says this diabetes conversation prompted me to go heat up pizza. Now I want pizza.
I had a slice earlier.
I haven't had pizza in quite a while. I don't eat it all that often, but I do love pizza.
I have before yesterday. I hadn't had any in quite a while. We ordered one kind of on a whim.
Mm.
My sister had to pay for it because I was broke.
I'm trying not to do too much junk food eating because we're getting ready to go on vacation where I'm not going to eat well at all. I'm 100% positive of that.
Oh, look, Arby's.
Yeah, like we're gonna be eating on the road, and probably not gonna be the best. I'm gonna be eating like a black man. Ha! See what I did there?
You're gonna get the beatus. No, this victimology shit. I am so tired of it. It is on everything.
Ebony says she can't go back to sleep because of us. Don't blame us. Blame Jamal. His bitch ass brought up this conversation.
It's so enraging. I am so tired of the black community putting themselves down, telling themselves they can't do anything, and that mean words are the greatest danger to themselves. No,
and
this is pseudoscience nonsense. Not even science. This is witchcraft crap.
What's even more upsetting about it is that the black people who do speak up against it, they're race traitors.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you guys are just keeping us down. And like, how dare you not just go get your government handout? You got a job for real. Why are you working for the man like that? Eat like a black man. Do you mean prison food? Ouch.
Wow. Well, if you maybe studied harder and didn't hang out with gang members, you would end up in jail. It's almost like there's consequences to your actions.
Except as we were talking about before, there's not, because the justice system, you go into it, you get a slap on the wrist, and then you get another slap on the wrist until you do something that lands you in there forever.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people won't hire felons, and you're not going to get a good job if you're a felon.
Look at the stupid shit that we saw with education, where black kids get suspended for longer than white kids, and they never talked about the fact that the black kids got suspended at the same level as white kids for each level of infraction.
Yeah, but if you continue to commit infractions,
and
I blame a lot of that on home life, where you have one parent who's working all the time and effectively a latchkey kid, and they're not motivated to do anything then, and they're not getting any kind of like set of values from home that they're apparently paying any attention to.
And this is one, though, that goes across white and black, not as much with Asian, is that you have a lot of moms out there. Because look, we're talking single parents, especially, which tend to be mothers, where when their little precious gets in trouble, like, how dare you be mean to my little precious?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what happened?
Your boy did do nothing.
This is true. I got spanked twice in school, Jack. Way, way back when you could still do that. It was a private school, but they could still do it. I got spanked at school twice. And when you got spanked at school, you had to take home a manila envelope with the teacher's reasoning and everything for it. You know what happened to me when I gave that to my mom?
You got another spanking?
I got spanked again.
Yeah, well, you deserved it, you brat.
Well, in the one, I didn't deserve it, actually, because my best friend called me a name, so I punched him, and that's on him. I'm just saying.
At least it wasn't a shovel.
In fairness, he ripped off my tie because we had to wear clip-on ties, and that's when I hit him.
Oh yeah.
So he really did start that fight, and I got in trouble for it because apparently his mom was a teacher. You know how that shit is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you did kind of take it to the next level.
The other one, he had flags. One was a Christian flag, and the other was the American.
And now we'll never know. Hi, everybody.
Sorry about that. I don't know where I was, so I'm just going to say these flags.
Flags,
and,
yeah.
One was the Christian flag, one was the American flag, and they crossed each other in this little holder. And when you wanted to ask a question, one was for like going to the bathroom, and the other one was for like, I need help with the work. And so you'd take one of them out and then put it up on a higher shelf so they knew you needed help. And I accidentally broke my American flag, but I had one at home. So I went and I just brought it. And then the teacher noticed it because it had a wooden handle instead of the plastic handle like the schools did. And I got spanked for lying.
Wow, that seems a bit excessive.
They didn't play, man.
Apparently.
I learned a valuable lesson there. I should have just say, hey, I broke my flag.
Yeah, you should have turned the flag upside down to show it was in distress.
In distress. But yeah, they didn't play. And my mom was with them on both of those. And anytime I got in trouble, actually, my mom was more mad that the school wasn't harder on me.
Wow.
Yeah, mom was old school, dude.
Apparently.
Yeah. That was bullshit. No, I actually agree with it. Because I did break the flag playing with. They don't know this, but I did break the flag because I was goofing off with it.
Oh.
And I was trying to hide it. I was being deceptive. 100%. And it was a valuable lesson to learn.
It just seems a bit excessive for spanking for that.
Lying is not. Lying was one of the guaranteed spankings. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you remember when we used to like honor your elders?
Yeah.
I think that, and as remembering being a kid, I know there were times I talked to adults and stuff and they were retarded.
Oh, yeah. But you didn't be like, boy, you're stupid. Because you'd get
you
5 across the eyes.
You were still respectful, even if you weren't hit, because that's what you were taught to do. And now it's like, fuck those old people.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
We don't respect the elderly anymore, much less our elders. So kids are just bastards these days.
They really are in
anything.
In most cases. I'm just tired of excuses. And all of this comes back to the same degradation of Western society. Whether we're talking about the feminist bullshit or the racist bullshit or the economic bullshit, the lack of education of what really happens under communism is a problem in this country.
It's a huge problem. It's going to be a bigger problem when we get more communists in office because these young people are so idealistically blinded.
They have no concept of what it was like, and they're the most likely to believe communism has never really been tried.
Yeah.
Because that's what they've been taught by the people who refuse to acknowledge reality. If you talk to people who have escaped communism, none of them are like, yeah, I just didn't like the guy in charge, so I left. It's no, communism itself was bad. It breeds corruption. It breeds authoritarianism. You cannot have a social democracy. It doesn't work because if somebody can argue against it, you have to stop them. This is why controlling the language is so important.
Yeah.
You control the language, you control everything. If you convince people that what was really wrong in the USSR is that America was mean to them instead of, the millions who were slaughtered, well, then what are the kids going to think? And that's what they're being taught.
Yep. Yeah, it's incredibly dangerous, and we're slowly losing more and more of our rights. Look at Britain, where if you even speak out against a Muslim, you could go to jail. There was somebody got more jail time for criticizing a rapist, a convicted rapist, than the rapist got for jail time.
Yeah, I remember that story. Did you see that what's his name? Mamdani? He was being interviewed on MSNBC and he's pledging a whole bunch of money to stop hate crimes, specifically against Jews, because being the Muslim, he is most concerned about the safety of Jews.
No, he's not. He's doing that because it gives him more power and control, because now you're prosecuting thought crimes. I'm sorry, most hate crimes are people saying something mean to someone, It's like disorderly conduct for swearing.
Yeah.
It's an overused bunch of bullshit. You said something somebody doesn't like, and suddenly it's a more egregious crime. Fuck you. It's a First Amendment. You don't have to like it, but somebody can walk down the street going, fuck, 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 and drop the N-bomb behind that every time, and it should still be perfectly legal. This hate crime bullshit is a backdoor way of controlling people that you don't like.
Yeah, even if you agree, you know, like, hey, you shouldn't be anti-Semitic. As soon as you make words illegal, you are opening the door for them to control literally everything you say.
Yep. And then you don't even have to actually say something because they'll believe somebody that says you said it.
Dangerous, thank you. The recent Robin Hood and Ironheart are both Robin Hood adaptations. The show's creator heard about Robin and Hood and thought black people, but it's critics of those shows that are the so-called racist. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
These assholes turning these people into literal criminals and being like, look how great they are. In the show, in the Robin Hood show, the only thing she gives back to the people is one time where she steals some medicine.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, they gave them hip hop, buddy. They were doing those little dance numbers, remember? The little singing and dancing.
Oh yeah.
So that's how they gave back to the community, because that helps the community thrive, is somebody singing and dancing like a jester.
Where's the show showing a black man get ahead in life without being an athlete or stealing it?
You don't see that anymore, sadly. The comics used to be great for that, the superhero sphere, because they showed people like Mr. Terrific, the second one, not the first one, who's going to be in this new Superman movie. He was a brilliant genius who was inspired by the white Mr. Terrific, the first one, and took up his mantle and continued on. And the guy's a billionaire. He doesn't need to be out there fighting crime. But yeah, he's a superhero and an inventor. But you don't see that kind of origin anymore. No, it's always like, oh, I'm so impressed. Yeah. Wham. Boring.
Charles says Will Smith has a movie about that. I'm assuming you're talking about Pursuit of Happiness, which was a good movie. But it's also, what, 20 years old now?
I don't know. Probably close to that, yeah.
All the movies they make about black people now, it's either hood rat trash or it's some woke bullshit where we got to find out about a guy who used to exist a long time ago who was by people who, I'm thinking of The Butler, who was by people who did real shit. And look, he happened to be black.
Well, they also create narratives around people that did not exist or we know nothing actually about, where they create these elaborate backstories, like that samurai allegedly who was actually a sword bearer,
who had much less of a role than they're given credit for in modern movies.
Yeah. Or
anyway.
My favorite, where they just make a white person black, like
Fair.
Beethoven and Henry VIII.
Here's Zaran Mamdani talking about that. Let's call it what it is: censorship.
Yeah.
I know that Jewish New Yorkers, like Jewish Americans, are fearful in this moment of anti-Semitism.
That's what they're not fearful of, that Muslim guy who just became mayor. It's the anti-Semitism.
Yeah, the Muslim communist doesn't spark fear in their hearts. No.
Fearful, especially after the horrific attacks that we saw in Washington, D.C. and in Boulder, Colorado.
He's got this thing where he forces himself to smile all the time. And I watched this again while paying attention to him smiling. Uh-oh, it's got to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to make me shut it down and refresh it? I hate when it does that. You son of a bitch. Yeah, they are. All right, because I dared go back.
You monster.
Let's refresh real fast. Oh, son of a bitch. It didn't even come up back to the right.
And I know that.
There we go. Watch his face. Watch his fucking smile.
Jewish New Yorkers, like Jewish Americans, are fearful in this moment of anti-Semitism. They're fearful, especially after the horrific attacks that we saw in Washington, D.C.
Maybe don't smile when you say the word anti-Semitism.
He smiles the biggest when he says the horrific attacks we saw in D.C.
Yeah, that's unsettling. His like public speaking coach should be fired.
Oh my God. It's one thing to smile throughout. It's a whole nother thing to smile the biggest when you're mentioning the actual slaughter of people.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
And in Boulder, Colorado. And they're fearful also in conversations that I have heard myself about life in this city. And I spoke to
Conversations I've heard myself. Are you just running around eavesdropping?
Yeah, see, he's a master of disguise. He dresses up and then rides the subway secretly.
Not conversations I've had myself. I've heard myself.
Well, he doesn't like talking to the little people.
I'm not talking to them Jews. Are you kidding?
a Jewish man in Williamsburg not too many weeks ago who told me about the fact that he now locks the door that he used to close, that he used to keep open for years because of a fear of who may come in. I spoke.
Did he tell you that through his Ring doorbell camera so you'd leave his porch? Like, get off my property, weirdo.
Where's Williamsburg in New York? Because I'm guessing that's where he's talking about. Because the Williamsburg I know is in Virginia.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could probably keep your door open in Williamsburg, New York. Yeah, sorry, Williamsburg, Virginia. It's in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I do not believe anybody just started locking their door in Brooklyn.
Not unless they enjoy being robbed.
I realize they've cleaned Brooklyn up a ton, but not. That's the kind of thing that you don't go back on. Once you start locking your door, you don't. You do that for a reason. You saw a story of something horrible that happened, or something horrible happened to you,
or you got robbed.
Yeah, and Brooklyn was pretty nasty place 2 decades ago. It's cleaned up a lot. You know, the hipsters moved in and bought cheap real estate from black people.
Oh, don't worry. If this guy gets elected, it'll go right back into the toilet.
But I was just talking to this guy, this old Jew in Williamsburg who just started locking his door.
Right.
Lie to me harder.
To a friend of mine after October 7th who told me about going to his synagogue for Shabbat services and hearing the door open behind him and turning around with a tremor going up his back, not knowing who was walking in and what they wished for them.
Again, not the right time to be smiling.
Yeah. By the way, I do like the word Shabbat. Sounds cool.
Can you talk?
That's all I had.
I need you to take the show.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, look, I don't like this guy. He comes off like a politician, like a cartoonish one. Like, I'm pretty sure Bugs Bunny defeated this guy at some point. No truth presented, right? I don't know. I don't trust this guy, and I don't think anybody should because he's communist. It's not even just that he's Muslim. I've met some decent Muslim people. I don't particularly trust them that much, but that's because of the whole 9/11 thing, and I know people that served in Iraq. But I never trust a communist, ever. They will stab you in the back in a second.
Let's try to get through the video real fast here.
All right.
And ultimately, it's through the conversations I've had with Jewish New Yorkers that I have developed a proposal for the Department of Community Safety that would include an 800% increase in funding for hate crime prevention programs.
Is he going to deport all the Jews to prevent hate crimes?
I mean, that would be the best way, apparently.
Yeah. I've seen what mayors in New York do to Jews, so it wouldn't surprise me if they're like, we're just going to move all these people to prevent hate.
Dude, I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. We've got a protected area. It's got a big fence to keep people in and out, and the Jews will be safe there, he says. Anybody else think that that's what he's getting at? These are all just a grift to steal funds. Oh, it's not just to steal funds. It's also to erode your rights. Because how dare you have a wrong thought or a wrong opinion or not like somebody? You're a bigoted monster So we're going to take your freedom and your money. He's not speaking to my people, so I'm going to have to vote for Adams. Yeah, dude, Adams might be the only person in this race that isn't a total, complete shitbag, and he's still not a good choice. Although that guy from the Guardian Angels is probably okay. I don't know. I don't know much about him, but he doesn't stand a chance. But if you're looking at the people in this race now, Adams is probably the least sinister one, which is sad. But he really got a wake-up call when they canceled him for complaining about the illegals. He's a gentrifier, just like half of New York now, coming to for a born and raised and residing New Yorker. I mean, I don't know enough about him. The luck that we're such an obvious, outlandish light, right? Unbelievable. We live in crazy times, you guys. Crazy, crazy times. Oh, cat's coming over here. Oh, she's just eating her treats. Never mind. She doesn't want to talk to me. She's like, screw you, can opener. And I'm like, but I love you. And she's like, you're my can opener. Shut up. So what's going on, chat? What does Assassin say there? People leave their doors unlocked? Not in reality, no. Chat appears so frozen. Sorry, guys. Let me refresh. Oh, pizza was good. Oh, nice. I'm a little jealous. I want some more pizza. Ask this guy what age of consent does he support. Oh, I think you know. I think you already know. He's just not going to admit it. We get a lot of people moving to my state from New York. There's a lot of parts of New York that are very beautiful. It could be a really nice state, but New York City effectively runs it. And they're going to screw everybody else over for their own benefit. Oh, yeah, Charles, I said that pretty much the exact same thing, but I had a lower time frame. They're going to turn all of New York into Escape from New York. Trying to fall asleep. Ebony, if you fall asleep, you won't know if there's a monster in your under your bed. Thank you, Dangerous Spaces. I heard these Jews saying they did not like getting attacked. It was quite sad and something I don't want to hear. It severely damaged the enjoyment I was trying to get from attacking those Jews. That's horrible, dude. That is horrible. Probably accurate, though. Sleep, what's that? I don't know. I'm an insomniac with a bottle of caffeine next to me.
I am so sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just hanging out with chat.
Dangerous, thank you. I heard these Jews saying they did not like getting attacked. It was quite sad and something I don't want to hear. It severely damaged the enjoyment I was trying to get from attacking those Jews. Yeah, I think with Mamdani here, Jack, that rather than increasing 800%, to stop hate crimes against Jews, which is what he's talking about here, even though that's not what the money would go for, maybe go talk to your party about, stop hating on the Jews so much. How come the left is so easy in noticing Nazi propaganda on the right, but they never see it on the left?
Because they don't do that. They're above reproach. They are the enlightened, sophisticated people, remember? That's why Barack Obama could have that big gathering, because they're sophisticated.
Yes.
While your grandparents are not allowed to hug you on their deathbed, and all the lockdowns are in place, Obama could have 800 guests because he's sophisticated. Which automatically made me think of Mask of the Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, yeah.
But, that didn't really pan out the way I envisioned it in my head, But, it's they don't do wrong. You just are thinking wrong because you're not smart enough. You're not sophisticated enough to understand the complexities of the truly elite mind of the leftist. Yeah, cognitive dissonance. That's what I was describing there, Pug Trucker.
I think we're gonna wrap up here, Jack. I do see what? I just read your private message there. I was looking to see if there was a link for anything you wanted to talk about. Anything you want to talk about?
No, I think we've kind of hit the marker. So,
and for the record, guys, I apologize for having to step away when I did. There's one pain that I get from this whole thing, Jack.
And that pain is a monkey's internet. Possibly come up with a more Orwellian title for department, the Department of Community Safety, right? That's accurate. Monk needs a recharge. Yeah, he needs a little bit of a downtime, I think. But I'm gonna drop my links to a cool video so you guys can check that out at your leisure. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting us. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Evolved Potato, for the dono earlier. You guys are awesome. You're a very sexy crowd. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. How many communists does it take to score light bulbs? They don't do that. They're first of all, there are no light bulbs under communism because we have to have production for that. What's up?
All right. The Starlink went out completely, so I had to switch over real fast. Sorry about that.
You're fine. I already dropped my links and thanked everybody for the donos.
Cool. Now, I was just apologizing for stepping away. There's just one pain I get, Jack, that there's nothing else I can do when it happens. I just have to deal with it. It only lasts for a couple of minutes, and then it goes away like it was never there, so there's like not lingering pain or anything.
Yeah, well, that's good.
And we've been fortunate that it's never happened on stream before. So my apologies for just dropping you like that. Usually it's one that I'm just dealing with normal, but that one, I literally can't do anything else.
I had a pain like that once, but we broke up.
There you go. Guys, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are so kind. Jack already shilled, so I'm just going to go. Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. We love you. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody.
What is today? Today is Thursday, technically now, right?
Yeah, it's technically Thursday.
So we'll have a show tonight and tomorrow, and I'm leaving Saturday morning. So be here for the next two, guys. I can't not sing a song. I was going to just leave it like that and be like, I'm not singing a song, but I didn't even spoken word it like last night.
Oh, leaving on a jet plane.
There you go. Jack sang for you tonight. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.